Hello, it's
John Cena! Happy 200th episode, folks. Sound effects are back. We are back for episode 200. And what a journey it's been. Wouldn't you say, Jake? Jake Osmond with me, by the way, as always. How's that for a throwback? Almost said the quote exactly, but not really at all.
Yeah. No, we're back. We're here. It's a nice reminder to start out the show. I was telling Claire, my partner, a little bit of the history of the show. And I'm like, one of my favorite clips is the first episode ever, where you're like, start of the episode to the end of the episode, I really earned my keep. Jake's on here. Who knows how long he'll be here? End of the episode, he'll be back. God damn right.
We did. I mean, it would not just that you'll be back. We said we might do it multiple times a week. We said we're going to be shorter. We got longer. Like so many things. I will say, though, the biggest promise of the episode was we're going to keep this going. And look at us now. We did have a hiatus. Let's not forget.
But we're well rested.
We are well rested. I did a little research. First episode came out. It was week 17 of the 2017 season. So let's remember that. We started it on the final week of the regular season. Better late than never, you know.
NFL. Yeah.
Yeah, of the NFL season. No one's starting their podcast at the end of the NFL season. But hey, fantasy season was done. Thought we might as well jump in there, talk about Blake Bortles right away. We're talking about the 0-16 Browns. I was convinced they were going to win. They did not. They made it a game. They did make it a game, but they did not win. They did go 0-17. I did write down some things that were happening during that week that are a nice little time capsule, and things that, you know, we talk about how the NFL is cyclical. Things don't necessarily change ever. And this is a nice little reminder. So again, this is the week of New Year's Eve 2017, just about to start 2018. And during this week, during episode 1, Jake, we talked about how Ted Thompson needs to step down. He needs to finally retire. And for those who don't know who Ted Thompson is, he is the former Packers general manager who's been dead for almost 4 years. And we started by saying, like, he needs to step down. Like, this guy is not mentally fine. And we were right. So called it. Check. Boom. Did that great. Other things that happened, and this is something, I mean, Gruden was rumoring a return to the NFL. We have not come very far. Yeah, so he did. And he was out. And look at us now. He's trying to get back in the NFL once again. John Gruden continues to do the same thing. Also happening during the same time, Mike McCarthy missed the playoffs after his quarterback got hurt and missed the entire year. Pretty much the entire year. Not much has changed. Packers with Aaron Rodgers, Cowboys with Dak Prescott. Same thing. Number 3, we were unsure if Jameis Winston was good.
This is insane. Yeah.
Fast forward to 2024. Jameis Winston has taken the NFL by storm, one of the most popular players in the league, passing for 500 yards, all of that. Yet he has 9 interceptions and 4 losses in the last 5 games. Still have no idea if Jameis Winston's good. I don't know if he's a quarterback you can build around. No idea. Next, the Bears fired their head coach who did not deserve it. I want you to guess who that was at this point. 2017.
Oh, my God. Not the guy I'm thinking of. It's not Lovey.
Not Lovey. It must have been after Lovey.
After Lovey.
I think immediately after Lovey.
But before, it wasn't the guy with Mitch Trubisky, right? No, that happened after with what?
Trubisky was there, but there's multiple Trubisky coaches.
True. Who was it?
John Fox.
Oh my God. Yeah,
I didn't remember he was there. And he did all right. But again, Bears fired a head coach who probably wasn't to blame. And once again, Bears just fired their head coach, Eberflus, who was performing better than expected. And the Bears immediately got blown out today by the 49ers. Nice. Recording this Sunday, by the way. Next. This is something that happened last year, but it's still kind of weird. So 2017, we're talking about Vance Joseph's defense for the Denver Broncos completely falling apart. Fast forward to 2024. He left the Broncos, got fired by the Broncos, somehow is back with the Broncos as the defensive coordinator. Last year, they gave up 70 points. Let's not forget how insane that is. And this year, one of the best defenses in the league. But Vance Joseph going from head coach of a team, fired, leaving town for several years,
Yeah.
doing well enough to get hired back, that all happened from the start of this show. Episode number 1. And the last thing I wrote down that did happen, this is something that you said and you implemented in this show, Jake. You talked about the Chuck Pagano rule. Do you know what the Chuck Pagano rule would be?
I've got some guesses. Does it have anything to do with what he was saying? No, it was it to do with the fact that like he was getting all the credit for something Bruce Arians definitely did?
No, not really. No. You said that you cannot fire a coach on the year that they didn't have a quarterback.
Oh, wow.
That's
agree.
the Chuck Pagano rule. Yeah. So now, by the way, is that Mike McCarthy? Mike McCarthy, by all accounts, 2 weeks ago was a dead man walking. This week, Micah Parsons, of all people, came out to support and say he wants him back. Without Dak Prescott, does the Chuck Pagano rule, is it implemented in this case?
Well, I think yes. I will also say Mike McCarthy almost fucking sideswiped me this week because I was doing research for a Bury the Lead, so a little plug coming up. Dallas Cowboys Bury the Lead. I was like, I might have to pause this and just do a deep dive in all the things that have been said about Mike McCarthy this year, because
just this year,
following the trend of this is what Jerry Jones does. He says things, engages the stronger reaction to both opinions.
For sure. He's a master of it. Yeah.
Because he came back out this week and he was like, it would be crazy if we kept him. And it's like, you said he's as good as gone.
Yeah. I say a lot of things, but I mean nothing.
Yeah. And he's just like, oh, players didn't like that. I guess we'll go with this one. So, I mean, I'm kind of into that. Listen, they were fine record-wise. You pointed that team and go, Mike McCarthy's the problem? I don't know. They got a lot of problems.
Well, we know what the problem is. It's been discussed to exhaustion. Jerry Jones has to die. Like, it goes with him. I'll say it. Episode 200. It's about damn time somebody says it.
By the way, Judge, for the future defamation case that's going to come up between this and the Bury the Lead later, he does have to die.
Yes.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah. Come on, Judge, look at me. Take your cowboy hat off and look at me in the fucking eyes. Jerry Jones needs to die for the Cowboys to do anything. We know this. And by the way, Stephen Jones, I understand. Jerry Jones is going to become reincarnated into his son, Stephen Jones. We need to kill him too, I think.
Okay.
We don't. By the way, we don't. No. Someone does.
That being time. I also think the cowboy should go to his daughter, his secret one.
Right. The one that he paid off.
Yeah. More on that later.
Oh, great. Little tease.
There we go. I found out there were developments in the story, and it's the most Jerry Jones development I've ever heard. But I will say, though, I think that's a great rule. How often does that fucking happen with, like, you know who that should apply to this year? Fucking Brian Daboll. For sure. That is very true. Does the Chuck Pagano rule apply to Daboll? And it should. I can't believe I was ever that defensive of Chuck Pagano, honestly.
I'm not sure if you were super defending. It was just, this is what happens. You don't fire a coach the year they don't have a quarterback. You were saying that about McCarthy, I believe. Yeah. You don't know anything, right? Like, now you have two problems. You don't know what any of them are. True. But also, I mean, the Bears implemented that rule last year, right? They didn't fire the coach, and then they hired the quarterback, and then they fired the coach for no reason. But here's the thing, and this is what I was going to say about Mike McCarthy. You can look at repeated data, like it happens more than once. Eberflus, he had 2 years of it. And by the way, here would be the actual argument to Eberflus. They thought they had a quarterback. Yeah, that's true. That is a good point. The Bears might have had one. Yeah, for sure. Then they for sure had one with Jay Cutler. And we talked about, by the way, episode 1. Maybe no, we did re-upload it at one point. So go find it. We did. We talk a lot about Jay Cutler in episode 1.
Well,
Called him Smoking Jay Cutler. So,
can I read you the NFL MVP voting from 2017?
Sure.
Because in some ways, I think these lists of the award voting do they perfectly encapsulate 2017 both feels like yesterday and not that long ago, because MVP was Tom Brady of the New England Patriots.
Okay.
Feels fine. Okay, that feels about right. Runner up, Todd Gurley, running back, Los Angeles Rams.
He may be, who knows if he is somewhere right now or if he is gone. No idea.
And by the way, the Rams already being in Los Angeles, I don't know if I would have guessed that.
They were in 2017?
2017. Yeah, Los Angeles Rams, Todd Gurley. Yeah.
Is that the first year?
I don't know. Third place, Carson Wentz, Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay. I think that was his that was the year he was MVP, got hurt, and then it must have been the Eagles Patriots Super Bowl.
And then this is the best representation of this, of how things have changed and stayed the same. On the offensive player of the voting tallies, Todd Gurley won that award, and Tom Brady was in the top 4. But behind them, Antonio Brown of the Pittsburgh Steelers. What a run it's been for him.
True. He may not be higher up ever than right now. CTESPN is great.
And DeAndre Hopkins of the Houston Texans, number 4.
I don't know how to feel about that one.
Well, on the defensive side, Zach, this is my favorite one. Okay. Number 1, Aaron Donald. Feels right.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Number 2 of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Calais Campbell.
That one, I have no clue if that was his first year there or last year there. I have no bit of timeline. When was Calais Campbell last on the Cardinals? I believe that was his first team.
Yeah.
No clue. And by the way, he played a full career with the Cardinals, and then he's played a full other career with a million teams.
Yeah. My 2 favorites, and I'll end on these, is the one that will make this feel like a million years ago is the Rookie of the Year, where the top 3 for offensive Rookie of the Year is the winner, Alvin Kamara, the runner-up, Kareem Hunt of the Kansas City Chiefs, and in third place, what a journey, Deshaun Watson of the Houston Texans. Yeah.
Nice.
And on the comeback player of the year, and this will make you feel like it was yesterday, the comeback player of the year, wide receiver for the Los Angeles Chargers, Keenan Allen.
What?
Comeback player of the year. He could do that again.
He could. He had a very real shot this year for that. What the fuck?
Number 2 on that list, Case Keenum.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad. I feel like he's number 2 on a lot of lists, and good for him.
Absolutely.
Positive.
Cameron Hayward's 4th on that list, by the way.
For comeback?
The Steelers. Yeah, for comeback.
Wow.
I know. Gronk's on the list too. It's an interesting list. I think that's an interesting list to timestamp history.
It also feels weird in my mind, and maybe I'm just forgetting something, I guess. It feels weird Kareem Hunt and Alvin Kamara came in at the same time.
Very much so. Well, running back age is weird. By the way, most fun name you'll see on any of the lists. One, shout out to Marshawn Lynch being on the Comeback Player of the Year award, playing for the Raiders.
True.
So, yeah. Number 9 on that list, middle linebacker for the Saints, Monte Te'o.
Wow. Okay. Good for him.
Yeah.
I think he was coming back from an injury at that point, but if that's coming back from the scandal, from being exposed for being a loser, boy.
A big jump.
Sorry, bud. I have the stats from the week that we talked about. So again, week 17 of that year, the highest passer of the week. It looks like it was Phillip Rivers with the Chargers. That feels like,
wow.
That's fine. The lowest passer not the lowest overall, the lowest highest, if that makes sense for you. So I can see the passing leader for every game. The lowest for that was TJ Yates for the Texans, which interesting that Deshaun Watson wasn't finishing years already. The highest rusher. Okay. Okay. I'm going to give you 5 guesses, Jake, and I'm going to tell you The leading rusher of the week was the running back for the New York Giants. Give me 5.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint. Not Saquon. Go.
Before Saquon, after Jacobs.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was like, how long did he, after he cooked us in the 08 NFC Championship game?
True.
How long did he hang around? Okay, 2016. I'm gonna throw out names of folks.
End of the season 2017, so just about to be 2018.
End of the season 2017.
I'm sure that gives it away for you. So let's hear it. Number 1 is
Darren Sproles.
No, that's a fun guess though, but no.
It was a lot of places. I mean, if I have to remember the running backs of the Giants before Barkley, hint, they were bad. I'm gonna go with okay, I know he played in New York for a bit. Amon Green.
No, but I like where your head's at. For the give me one more guess, and then for the final 2, I'll tell you the college he played for. How about that?
Oh, motherfucker. Okay.
That I'll do that for the 4th guess, and then the 5th guess, I'll give you his initials. I want everyone to play at home. If you get this right,
all right.
Good job.
Fred Jackson.
No, I miss Fred Jackson dearly, though.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say names I like to say. Okay.
So this running back played for Tulane. You're one of your most hated schools.
I do hate Tulane. I was telling my grandpa about that this week. Because he's like, don't you like Tulane? I'm like, no, grandpa, I like Tulsa. It's different.
He said, okay, let go of me. Why are you gripping me so hard?
I had him pinned against the wall.
Yeah.
Let's go with Tulane. I don't freaking know, man.
Name a player from Tulane.
Yeah. Arian Foster.
No. Okay. So his initials are O.D. You'll know his name, but it's not like you have any memory of this guy.
I'm not going to take a guess at OD.
Everybody say it with me at home. Orleans Darkwa.
The only reason I know about that is I think we made a joke at the time that that's going to be like the new hot liquor brand.
Oh, probably. He was the leading rusher of the week, 154 yards against the then, I think, Washington Redskins. Yeah. I assume. So 3 teams ago.
Wow.
Yeah, the leading receiver.
That was the Rams' second year in LA, back in LA.
Second. Okay. So this must have been. Was it? Now I can't remember his name. The former Titans head coach, coached the Rams. What the fuck's his name? Jeff Fisher. Was Jeff Fisher still there, you think?
No.
No? Okay. Leading receiver of the week.
Jeff Fisher was out. Sorry to date everybody, but he was out after Michael Sam and the Ferguson shootings. So probably 2 years prior.
Because he was with Jared Goff, was he not? How long's Jared Goff been?
Boy, maybe. Listen, who am I to play? Why am I doubting that Jeff Fisher didn't coach longer than I think he did?
I mean, I could look at their game of this week. It'll tell me something at least. Okay, so.
Yeah, so I actually got the year right. He was coach of the Rams from 2012 to 2016.
Okay, so he was gone. However, the quarterback, at least for this week for the Rams, was not Jared Goff. And this is someone.
It was McVay first year. Yeah, Fisher to McVay.
Great. And the quarterback for week 17 was Sean Mannion.
Oh, yes.
Does anyone know him? Lance Dunbar played for the Rams in this game. Who knew? The leading receiver of the week was it him? Okay, it was Albert Wilson with the Chiefs. And this was, you know what this week is? Ooh, this is, no wonder the show took off, Jake. This show, the week of this show, when it started, was Patrick Mahomes' first start in the NFL.
Wow. No one thought either of us would make it.
No. Which one's going to stop first, Patrick?
Well, duh. We knew that. I never put two and two together, but we knew that because
Alex Smith.
we've always coincided with Alex Smith.
We have. Yeah, when he nearly died on the field, we had to take a moment of silence of a couple years, came back at the same time he did.
Yes.
And we started, by the way, first couple seasons of the show, very critical of Andy Reid. We were always supportive and loved Andy Reid and said he was a great coach. However, the Andy Reid swan dive will go down as one of the biggest themes of the show.
Yeah, it was like the thing we were known for. And by the way, we were right. Okay.
Oh, for sure. Dipping a toe in, testing the temperature. Andy Reid is a porch with the diving board. We got the Andy Reid impersonator sending us videos saying to leave him alone. Like, I'm going to kick your ass.
I think the first episode we had that went somewhat viral or popular was the episode where we were like, Andy Reid's destined for an AFC wildcard matchup with the Colts that goes terribly. And boom. Yeah. It was the season they had no wide receiver touchdowns.
Yeah, sorry. What do you want us to do? We were correct time and time again.
Which, by the way, is why I'm still a huge Travis Kelce stan. I remember where we came from, okay?
No kidding.
Dwayne Poe fighting for 2 touchdowns a year.
What a strange year. Like, no receiver. How's that possible? That's
how Alex Smith worked, dude.
Well, also, by the way, remember that moment in time. No receiver touchdowns, making the playoffs. I believe they won a game without scoring a touchdown. Like
Kareem
they were
Hunt
just kicking
rookie of the year votes.
Yeah, they just were kicking field goals and Kareem Hunt. Well, that game they didn't even score a touchdown. But then fast forward to like a couple years ago when everyone's like, I don't think Andy Reid can win games if they can't pass the ball. Like, if they can't throw it to a bunch of receiving weapons like Tyreek Hill, I'm not sure if Mahomes and Andy Reid will win any games. Like, retroactively, let's go back and slap those people in the face. Not that. Mm-hmm. And, maybe hindsight's a little 2020 here since they've won a couple Super Bowls since then.
Because, by the way, this will be my last point on 2017 and then anything else you have. The Coach of the Year voting. First, in his rookie season, Sean McVay.
Okay. Probably well deserved.
Because got him all the way to the wild card, made the playoffs. Second, I don't know if I would have guessed he was already in Minnesota. Mike Zimmer.
I mean, he was there for a while.
He was there for a while.
Some would say.
Third, for the Jacksonville Jaguars, which I should have known because we were also obsessed, of course, with Mr. December himself. Blake Bortles, Doug Marrone. Was third, and then of course Bill Belichick was fourth, and fifth for your Philadelphia Eagles, Doug Peterson.
Wow. Okay, look at Doug now. Brighter days down there in Jacksonville.
By the way, no one liked this segment more than Doug Peterson. Please tell me more about 2017.
No kidding. Oh my God.
Slipping through my fingers.
Maybe the Pagano rule will apply to him. He probably
His
won't.
Quarterback hasn't fucking been there, dude.
Even when he was physically there.
Mac Jones got Bill Belichick fired.
yes, he did. Bill Belichick's getting sent down to college from what the news reports are saying. I still don't think there's any shot he accepts that job. But if Bill Belichick's going to be the head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels, I feel like that shouldn't be allowed.
No, I would also really, really want an investigation, like, because I know it went bad for them, but for them to go, like, people need to remember. Now, help me out, Mac Brown, right?
Yep.
How they got Mac Brown, and then to go, and their next one being Bill Belichick. Someone's got to look into that.
Also, I love Bill. Nothing but love for Bill. I think he's incredible. Best coach of all time across any sport. Can do almost no wrong in my eyes. One thing that's been a little odd, and we talked about it at the time it first came out, and everyone's like, I don't like this, but also go Bill. His girlfriend is like college aged.
Yeah.
Are we gonna like Bill on a college campus? Like, is he just going to go Leo DiCaprio and keep downgrading here, like in age?
He's done it a few times. No shot. Like, I don't want to attack the dude's personal life, but it's a habit. Like,
yeah, Bill, come on.
I know. Well, at first I thought you were going to say that she was like going to cheat on him with some college boys, and I'm like, I don't know if that's the side of the relationship I'm like cautious about. But
she's a good woman. She's faithful.
She's faithful. Yeah, it makes me worried. I don't know if I need him on a college campus. Besides Bill, come on, you're going to.
You know who I want. You know who I want least on a college campus, and I don't have a fully great reason. I have a good reason for him. I don't want Steve Belichick on a college campus, and he's been coaching in Washington this year, and that's fine. Keep him in Washington, Oregon, those two weird fucking states. That's where Steve can roam.
Yeah,
I don't want him middle of the country. I don't want him on the East Coast. Keep Steve off of campus. Like he's so weird.
True. King of football, Oregon, by the way.
Oregon's great.
College play.
True. Wisconsin almost beat them. Never forget. We will hang that banner.
So did Boise State, haunted by their almost losses. Zach, we've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot of celebrations. Anything else we want to? I mean, let's start with this. 25 minutes.
Let's start. Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. And we will. And the next 10 minutes will be a standing ovation from us. And here we go.
That's right. But hey, we grew this year in a few different ways. But the show grew.
True. Check your Spotify Wrapped if you listen to the show, and you are currently, obviously. If you listen to the show on Spotify, see if you got Flurry Sports Podcast in your top 5. If you do, definitely share that with us. That'd be cool. Because there are several of you.
I was a little bit under the influence one of the nights this week, and it was whatever night you sent me how we did this year. And I literally looked over Claire. Claire couldn't stop laughing. I looked over to her. I was like, people listen to our podcast. Like, I was like, we talk. Not in like our show's good. I've hit that point. There was a point in time where I'm like, what are we doing? Not anymore. It's a polished product at this point.
Every show's got those seasons where it's like they're figuring shit out.
Yeah, we're there. We found our fastball.
We've arrived.
Knuckleball. That's right. If you're listening, really appreciate it. Here's what I also said. It was the day after the New Heights podcast released their interview with Bill Murray.
Okay. Yeah.
And he was like, oh, it's one of the couple sports podcasts I listened to. And I was like, what if Bill Murray listens to I was having a moment where I was like, people listen to the show and I don't know who those people are.
It is weird. I had this like on a very smaller scale when I was in college, when it was when we first started the show.
Yeah.
I walked into a classroom and my college professor was playing Vanessa Carlton, blasting it when I was walking into the room because I was saying nobody dislikes that song.
Yes.
The show. And I'm like, it's funny bit he was doing. And he fully was bought in. Great. If you still listen to the show, by the way, Riddenauer, let me know because I missed the hell out of you. But that was just a weird moment where like, oh, I kind of have to watch what I say because people I know listen to this and I didn't know that he listened. And then there's going to be people who we definitely don't know listen. There's got to be some cool ones. There's going to be some weirdos, and you listening might be a weirdo. Let us know you too.
But it is, it's, there was a moment in time where I thought everyone who listened to the show we knew. And
well, let me tell you this. This show's been cited on ESPN. Remember that?
I forgot that happened. Yeah.
Me as an anonymous source, my direct quote by Rob Domofsky on ESPN. Cite the show, Rob, asshole. Like, well, fuck you.
I remember it only because not only did he cite you, which at the time you were like reporting on things and doing a lot of reports for other folks. He cited something you said on this show, which we were like, of all the shows to cite.
Well, I think it's one of our most popular shows by obvious. Like I said beforehand, like I'm gonna say real news on this fucking show, but yeah, he quoted me. I knew people would be listening. Quoted me as an anonymous source. I didn't talk to you, Rob. I know we make this podcast so personal. It's like we're talking to you at home.
But I will say, Rob, if you still listen, thanks.
His son committed to Eau Claire to play basketball. And Rob, if you listen and I run into your son on Water Street, on site. It's your fault. It's your fault, Rob.
WWE brawl. No, it's wild. Like I've had students over the years who will come in, and that's
Sure.
like the weirdest. Is like I'll have some students who are like, "Oh, I found your show." Da, 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 da. The ones that get me is like I had a staff member when I was at Point who was like, I really don't know why you hate Iowa so much. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, yeah, because I had like been talking about it for like years at that point. But like I guess it was going into March Madness, and on a random one, I was like, I hope they lose 70-2. He's like, Jesus. But so it means a lot. I got called out of the Twins game.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, we were in the Twins game. It's like Flurry Sports, and I was like, yeah. And then I was like, wait, cool.
You should have pursued that more, but that's
Yeah,
fine.
I know. Emily was with me, and she was like, they did say, I don't think so. But
I had someone come up to me during,
which by the way,
concert was
Emily's
it?
current partner Jared listens to the show, so shout out Jared.
Shout out Jared. Yeah, cool guy. Get better at his cornhole. That's all I gotta say. I didn't even pull out all the stops. I didn't even bring out the board wax on that one.
Didn't even bring out your own bags. Yeah.
No. Wait till I get those embroidered babies out here.
Heat seekers.
Forgot what I was going. Oh, there was some concert that we went to, and someone from high school came up, talked to me like in the middle of the concert. Probably shouldn't have done that. But talking about the podcast that he listens to, and he like dabbed me up, then went back to his spot. I don't remember what concert it was. It was not
Creed.
Not Creed. No, it was at the fair.
Oh, sick. Yeah, that would make sense.
Not last year for obvious reasons, but it was the year before that.
Yeah,
I don't remember what it was, but it was something cool.
But
who knows?
Whoever listens, it was just a moment of like people choose to listen to us, and not in a we don't deserve it way, but just in a it's cool. That's how podcasts work way. That was more the moment I was having was actual people listen to it.
Yeah, I mean we've made plenty of jokes over the year where it's like we make the show for us and we let you guys listen to it. Like you're just in a conversation with us, and at some point it does just feel that way. Yeah. That's a part of the reason why we've been doing some of these live. I think this one is not live because there's just so much producing that's going into the episode 200 theatrics that you are all hearing right now, obviously. But it's also cool if you usually on Monday nights we will go live on the Flurry Sports YouTube channel. Jump in the chat if you ever catch us live, or if you comment on the video afterwards, we can definitely talk to you that way as well. But it is cool to interact with some of you and hear Randy talk about how jacked you are, Jake, which we don't get on episode 200, but it is so with us in spirit. Yeah. It's been said enough times. I think we know what Randy would say if he were here.
Manifest it. Yeah. And listen, I was thinking about that the other day of like, I wonder if we call out the chat too much, but I'm going to do it every fucking time because I appreciate that people are there and
they're part of the conversation. They found their way into the room. We're going to acknowledge them.
Well, and here's what I like. If you're listening to this, you like sports and you probably consume a lot of sports content. It's fun to know that there's folks interested in the way we're talking about it. And I mean, a lot of folks interested. I don't get to toot your horn enough. A lot of folks interested in your brand over the years, which is cool because I can go back to like conversations we had about starting different companies, you getting cut out of other companies that you definitely helped start. And then
this started out of spite. 100%.
100%. And by the way, who's still fucking here, baby?
No shit. Yeah. Whoops. Maybe you made the wrong choice, fuckers.
That's right. Just was that an off-air comment? Just like Jerry Bird say. Fuckers. It was a pre-show comment. Look up Jerry Bird. Yeah. But all that to say, we're still here. You're still here. You've got a blue check mark. They tried to make you pay for that, son of a bitch.
They did.
Got it.
They did. And now I'm over on Blue Sky, where there's less politics and bullshit. Vibes are high over there. If you're not on Blue Sky yet and you like the old Twitter, go check it out. At Zach Bruner.
It's nice. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. So all that said, thank you folks for listening, both this year and beyond. Thanks to everyone who voted for us.
Yes. We'll say thanks. We have the ability to take that thanks back upon results. But thanks for listening to us for sure.
I promise, as much as this is part of our identity, don't worry. It will be more so if we win.
Oh, boy. Boy. The four-time award nominated, one-time winner. podcast,
That's right.
baby.
Validation. Yes.
That's right.
That's what I need.
Yeah. Sinceriously. That's a cool word.
New podcast title.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for everyone who's listened and supported over the years. And if you have any ideas or things you would like to see out of us for this podcast or anything else going forward, definitely let us know. And we want to do it. I can promise you, if you enjoy us too, in your ears every single week, just saying shit about sports, being adjacent to sports, essentially, we have things planned and things that we will continue to plan and create that we're very excited about. And we will be able to share that with you at some point. And the more this podcast grows, the more we have the ability to do more fun stuff like that, which is the best part, I think.
100%. We get to, we're doing a bunch of other things in our lives. And I think this is still one of the things we look forward to the most every week, which is cool. But,
yeah.
And I mean, and just a different life mode. Think of all the things we've done since 2017. We're both, hey, everybody, sorry. We're fucking engaged, baby.
Whoops. You only have there's a little bit of time for you to get in there to break this up. You know what I mean? Once the ring's on, it's done. So that's what Jake's saying.
That's right. Get in there, baby. We're in. So what a moment. You know what? We fucking did it. I'm back. Never mind. The thanks. It's for us.
Oh, yeah. M. Night Shyamalan. Spoiler alert. We were saying it to each other. Thank you, Jake.
Thank you, Zach. Yeah, 100%. But Zach, we have so many things to cover today. I don't even know if any of them will be college football.
Which is very Flurry sports stuff. Build up. Bracket released. You heard everyone talk about it.
Hey, by the way, whoops. Who would have guessed? Everyone was like, I can't believe they put SMU in instead of Alabama. I fucking told you, dude. Dabo's gonna damn us all to hell.
Yeah, whoops, Dabo made the playoffs. Who could have seen that coming?
It is the most playoff outcome. My only thought on it, this is my actual only college football take today. Everyone who's freaking out about isn't Alabama a better team? Guess what, everybody? We don't know.
Yeah, you don't
want
know.
These other teams to play each other. Guess what? We have 12 of them about to do it.
Mm-hmm. Should we have the winner, though, face Alabama for one final hurrah? Because that could be fun.
They actually get the highest bye.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Play till the end.
Alabama does, and Saban gets to coach it. Why not?
Yeah. Saban's back in. That's what we need to do. I think all's right in the world. Alabama will now probably get to play Miami and just stomp the ever-loving shit out of them. So that'll be worth
it. That's my national championship. If it happens, if Miami wins, that'll upset me.
I hope it's Alabama Miami or Alabama Army.
Or Army Miami. That would be fantastic.
Yes. Well, that would be fun either way, because I would say, honestly, that mix of those three and then Ole Miss or South Carolina will be in there. And then Iowa State. Oh, Jesus Christ, Iowa State. Congrats on your first conference championship game. And
I told you Arizona State's not bad. They're okay.
No, they're good. They're very good against, the Wildcats really wore down the Cyclones, but,
That's true. That is true. There's going to be some interesting matchups, but yes, episode 200. We've talked about college football enough. We got a couple things here. We'll see how many we can get to. Let's keep this around an hour, but Jake is bringing back some of the favorites today. So Jake, should we do the song first or should we do the bearing the lead? So stick around if you want to hear both of these.
I think we start with the song. Both are related to the NFL. So I think we start with the song because it puts a nice cap on the celebration. We had a full musical episode. Full musical season. We did back in the day,
That is true. Yeah, we did a lot of songs.
We did. So we're bringing it back. I made a hint last week. It is related to Zach's childhood. And it is related to our beloved New York Giants.
It's childhood.
Yes, I will say I've been watching the news very closely over the last week because I didn't want them to fire Joe Shane too soon.
Okay.
So that said, enjoyed the song. And my last question to you, Zach, is do you have your library card?
Okay. In my mind, I'm like childhood. It's gonna be wrestling. Is it gonna be Metallica? Is it gonna be Van Halen?
Very childhood.
I mean, they were all around the same time, I think. But here we go. Okay. Let me know if you don't hear this, but you should be able to hear it right now.
Joe Shane, when you're walking down the street, every person that you meet would be a better GM than you. And I say, hey, they should fire Joe Shane today so the Giants can learn to play because they haven't got a clue. Joe, listen to the press, listen to the fans, listen to your son when he tells you who to draft. You don't have Jones, you don't have Barkley. The only way to make things better is leave here forever. It's a simple message, but it comes from the heart. Joe Shane, fire yourself.
Fire yourself.
That's the place to start. And I say, hey, they should fire Joe Shane today.
Hey,
so the Giants can learn to play.
Hey,
because they haven't got a clue.
True words have never been put into song form.
By the way, shout out to Claire on the background vocals. She was listening to it and she's like, do we hate Joe Shane that much? I'm like, he's got to go, man.
He does. He absolutely does. And for that, I will play this, Jake.
Comparatively speaking, you are like a grain of sand in the Sahara Desert. Yeah, and I am the entire desert.
It's the best clip we have ever had on the show.
Yeah, well, that may not fit the moment. We had to get it in somehow, so I might as well shoehorn it in. Shane, he's gonna stay. Like
he's not gonna leave.
That's true. We got all these Uncrustables. Who's gonna eat them if he's gone? Mara's all about saving money. He can't waste those.
How is he gonna be the last one standing? I mean, I know because he gets to pick who leaves, but
I mean, he shouldn't though. Mara should. There's a chance Mara's very pissed because the only scene I truly remember in Hard Knocks offseason is him just being like, but Saquon's our most popular player. Like, I would really like to get him back.
But he was such a little kid. Like, when it's like the other thing I realized when I was doing that song is like, what a total joke this has been. We have your son on camera saying, draft Jaden Daniels. You'll never get another shot to BGM.
That's the moment he can't live down because everyone then could be like, dude, like, for anyone saying like GMs are smarter than you, and it's not anyone can be a GM. It's like, look at this clip. If that was the only difference this entire year, boy, that's a pretty big difference.
It's like Ratatouille. Not everyone can cook, but a good cook can come from everywhere, you know?
That is true. That is very, very true. Unfortunately, a lot of the people who can't cook are the ones cooking at this moment.
100%. Also, between that moment and the moment where he gets the fucking Burns deal done by talking to a buddy of his.
Yeah, like, that one I respect it. Like, how the hell, man? Good hustle. I like the hustle. Did you watch any of the in-season Hard Knocks episode 1 this week?
No, we're gonna let it build a little bit. We want to watch a couple in a row.
Okay, it's a banger. It's very, very good. It's the best Hard Knocks I've seen in a long time.
Oh, I'm into it. I think I'm gonna like the in-season and the GM version of it the most. I think both are better than the preseason Hard Knocks.
I agree.
Will they give us another GM version? I don't know.
There's no. If anyone signs up for it, on them. Like,
well, it won't be a sign up. They'll have to make people do it, but they kind of do that already.
They do that for sure the preseason. I think the Giants volunteered this.
It was such a bad look. Well, of course he did.
For sure, exactly. But like, it's such a disadvantage more than any other Hard Knocks. This is a disadvantage.
Yeah, and it's all bad. Like, how does that not damage future relationships?
The only one it's good for potentially is the scouts.
Yeah. I'd be fine if they limited some of the talk that they showed.
I agree. I would be fine if it was Hard Knocks, and take this if you want, New York film or NFL films, but you got to credit us. Put us in it. Let us start it. Let's do Hard Knocks NFL draft.
Well, that's the best parts of it. I don't necessarily need to see the free agent negotiations and them being like, oh, this guy. Like that's only going to age poorly. But I'm fine with them making other GMs look like schmucks. Like if we want to talk about like just draft night, well, Claire and I said that those were the best episodes of the draft or of the show, I think.
Yeah, start in now, like the very pre-scouting process for the draft. A lot of at the combine, because the way they talked negotiations at the combine was incredible. I thought that was the best part of it.
Yeah, Dable with the quarterbacks was insane. With
the quarterbacks, Shane running to the other side of the stadium, what a doofus, to talk with the Patriots and be like, "Oh, the Patriots aren't going to move." To draft night, which would be great. Like that's what we should do, and bounce around to different teams for that. We don't need to lock into one.
Yeah, they could just do combine draft night, no teams. Like just give me highlights of multiple ones, because the other highlight of it was them at the combine, and it wasn't very Giant centric, is when they had the wide receiver break the dash record. And you had that cut imposed with Brian Dable saying, how fast do you think he can run a 40-yard dash if there was a plate of chicken wings at the other side? Oh, it was unbelievable. That's, by the way, an all-time exchange. And if I was him, I'd be so proud they got it on camera, because it's funny from start to finish. He's justifiably enraged when no one believes in him. And then he's like, okay, what? And then the guy runs, and it's all set up for the punchline, which they bring it back, and he goes, all right, what yard line would I have to start? Like, he's like, if I start at the 20, can I get him? They're like, if you started at the 35, maybe you would. But it's all good. So the only thing would be, I've got no metrics of like, I perceive it as that was the one. We'll see if this one does even better, but it was their most watched Hard Knocks in a while, or for sure most relevant. Will that mean they want to do it again more so? I think their want to do it has to outweigh teams' reluctance to do it, because there's no doubt teams won't want any part of that.
Right. I for sure. I'm unsure if it was the most watched. It might be. I have no idea. I think it's the most talked about now.
Yeah, it's hard to separate.
I think once preseason Hard Knocks is over, I think it's over. Like people just don't keep talking about it. Whereas every time the Giants step on a rake, we're like, remember this scene from this Hard Knocks? Like it's insane.
Remember when they said Daniel Jones was our guy?
Yeah. And they're gonna do everything in their possibility to make sure he succeeds this year, except for give him an offensive line. And we'll give him a receiver who's going to hate him. Like, he's going to hate Daniel Jones. That was their first question to him, I'm sure. This current Hard Knocks, though, with 4 teams, could be the most watched. And it's just electric. Like, you got Jameis Winston, you got Mike Tomlin, you got, the Ravens just overall, there's just Lamar Jackson, and everyone there is insane. And then the Bengals implosion is also fantastic. Yeah,
that's so true. And they've been fortunate of like the scenes I've seen with like Jameis Winston coming into Cleveland have been electric. Like you get to focus on him instead of Deshaun. Awesome. So
they're like, thank you, Lord. Yeah.
Yes. So is Jameis, by the way.
He is saying that very often. Yeah. That's kind of the biggest thing he said.
So on the NFL topic, Zach, because I want to make sure we get all the goods in today. I have a bury the lead. He's focused on another team that I would say sitting on a lot of rakes lately.
Okay.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh, yep. Set up all over.
I think there's no better. Listen, bury the lead. There's no way we were going to celebrate the show without doing a bury the lead. It's been our probably most favorite game to go back to.
Yes.
All the way back to President Obama telling J.R. Smith to shut up. Put a shirt on. But there's a lot of classics out there. Katie Ledecky swimming with a glass of chocolate milk on her head. Some favorites. But Zach, we briefly have touched on some Dallas Cowboys over the years, but we've kind of stayed away from it. So I think some of the most notable Dallas Cowboy figures have almost been too hard to pin down. Where do you
Sure.
start on guys like Jerry Jones and guys
Yeah.
like Deion Sanders? Well, today, Zach, I'm giving it to you. But for the 200th episode, I'm making one change. Zach, as always, is going to tell us which of these is going into the Buried the Lead Hall of Fame, along with, of course, Manu Ginobili killed a bat.
Yeah.
Other classics such as that, along with
Carlos Boozer,
the Marcus Mariota saying that he can't be surprised that he had to sell a fat lady half a head of lettuce.
Yes. Coach K stabbing a sword into some plant or something.
Yeah, 100% during his last game. Yes. So there's a bunch of good ones, Zach. Today, I'm taking the reins off. Oh, Novak Djokovic singing at a dictator's wedding.
Yeah, never forget that.
Yeah. But I will say, Zach, I'm taking the reins off. I'm not going to pick the nominees for you. I have 3 candidates with 3 nominations each. I will let you pick any of the 9 submissions.
Wow. Okay. Big episode. Okay. Great.
Because I will say on the high end of this, these are as juicy as these Buried the Leads get. I think this is maybe a bit of a callback, especially with a couple of the names. It's the Cowboys, of course.
Sure.
These are not all going to be things we didn't know.
Right.
But it's a classic Buried the Lead of, we really should talk about that more. I can't believe that happened. So
yeah,
I'm going to build up. So we're going to start with Neon Deion. Primetime Deion Sanders, who, by the way, this isn't a nominee, but I needed to mention it this week. So hard to research bizarre Deion Sanders things because this week, did you see that Deion Jr. got into a beef with the Oregon Duck?
Briefly, I've seen it mentioned because, was it something he said on McAfee or the Duck did on McAfee?
The Duck tweeted at McAfee, which Deion Sanders Jr. replied to. Deion Sanders Jr., I'm not going to read his response because it's not very funny. He was basically upset that a fake duck was like picking sides, and he's like, "We're in your head, man." I don't think you're in their head at all. But he's
the Duck also made fun of Travis Hunter, took shots at him.
100%, which is what they're mad at. Which, by the way, the tweet that he got mad at, which I do love, and I do think it's funny, the Oregon Duck tweeted at McAfee, my pick is Genty. Snaps ain't a stat, bro. Which, by the way, I love. So
it's true. It's true.
Oh, great, you played more.
It's like if minutes played were a snap or a stat, Snell for the Bucks would have been an all-star. You know what I mean?
100%. So that's all in there. So Zach, let's go to the nominees for Deion Sanders. Again, in no particular order, you can pick 3 of these. So we know Deion, of course, football player for multiple teams, Atlanta, Dallas, now head coach of the Colorado Buffalo in football, previously Jackson State, baseball player. That will come up a little bit, but he's done it all. Anything you want to add about primetime before I get into what we should remember him for?
Massive personality. He also called it, has issues with the Hall of Fame because it's not the Hall of Best. He thinks there needs to be a room for the best players, in which, of course, he is also included in, stuff like that.
Speaking on the ego, Zach, the first one I got is I wanted to include something from his time at Colorado. People will forget his first streak of games. It kind of crumbled, but they win right away. They win 4 in a row. He gets asked the question. I just think we need to remember him at his peak of like, this is what Deion is internally. They said, Coach, what do you think about all this? You have to be celebrating this moment right now. His response: I don't have time to enjoy the moment. Santa doesn't have time, He got to deliver the gifts. He ain't got time to enjoy his cookies. That's all he gets.
Santa don't got time to enjoy those cookies. You're right, Deion. Notably, he does, but that's fine.
Yeah, 100%. That's all he gets. Second, right up there with Santa Claus for beloved figures. Cannot forget. I almost wanted to highlight this, but there's a few good ones in here. Deion Sanders and his best friend, MC Hammer. Can't forget. Deion appeared in multiple videos with MC Hammer in the 90s, including kind of launching his primetime persona in Too Legit to Quit. But Zach, the one I didn't want you to forget is he did release his own song. He signed to MC Hammer's record label company. First person to sign.
Okay.
Nice job. First person not
Nice.
named MC Hammer. Released
Yeah.
a song for the Street Fighter movie in the 90s.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, by the way, not good. You're looking up in your own time, folks, but not very good. But Deion Sanders was a recording artist. Yeah, it's featuring MC Hammer, which is kind of hilarious. And then
Sure.
MC Hammer also famously was celebrating and in a bunch of photos with him when he got his Atlanta contract. And the quote from Deion at the time said, "There's going to be a lot of zeros in that contract. It better look like alphabet soup." Which again, those are O's, not zeros, but you know,
also many letters in alphabet soup. It's the alphabet.
Not just a lot of you get. By the way, you get alphabet soup with just O's. You've got Cheerios.
That's true. A lot of X's, which also wouldn't be great maybe for the contract.
That's right.
That's fine.
And the last one, Zach, but maybe with a wrinkle that folks won't know but should remember. Not only is Deion a two-sport athlete, he has a 30 for 30. Famously, he attempted to play 2 professional sports in a single day when he had a Sunday football game for the Atlanta Falcons, and then was at the same time in 1992 playing for the Braves, tried to make it to their playoff game. So a lot of hubbubaloo that I think should be remembered of, like, famously, he had 2 handshake agreements. Which I think is funny in the sense that everyone's pissed about it, right? Like the Falcons are under the assumption that he will play baseball games, but only when he doesn't have a football game. Meanwhile, the Braves think that he won't play any football games once the Braves are in the playoffs.
Sure.
Deion, meanwhile, thinks he will do all of it, and it's just not going to any practice. So, all of this is happening, but he made it to both games, but both teams were pissed at him. He had a quote saying, "Football is my wife, baseball is my girlfriend." He did not get to start for the NFL game that day. Jerry Glanville made a point of saying he missed practice all week. He won't start. He had him stand next to him for one play and then put him in.
Perfect. Yeah.
Very Jerry Glanville. And he didn't play at all for the Braves despite getting there.
Oh, that's bullshit.
He suited up but never played. 100%. But the anecdote I wanted to include, Zach, to make it, he had to catch a helicopter from the football stadium to the airport to catch a plane to Pittsburgh. Because it was an away baseball game. So to do that, you got to get in the plane. However, the helicopter pilot refused to leave because the helicopter was too heavy because of the entourage that Deion was trying to bring with him. His entourage swelled to include himself, his girlfriend at the time, Carolyn Chambers, his daughter, his agents, Eugene Parker and Roosevelt Barnes, Pat O'Brien, CBS camera crew of Pat O'Brien and 3 others, his Nike representative, Ann Skurs, and an IV crew because he needed IVs after the first game. So he swelled to about 17 people trying to fit in a commercial helicopter. The helicopter pilot said, "I could probably take you if we don't bring my agents." And Deion said, this helicopter does not leave without my Nike representative. Which, of course. So Deion took one helicopter with his agents and representatives and the IV crew and sent the helicopter back for the rest of his entourage. 2 trips to make it on time. So dedication to making it 2 days, but I will not leave the people behind.
I'm surprised Jerry didn't lend him his private jet.
He's pissed. He's mad at him.
It seems like something Jerry would love, though.
Jerry did like it. There are quotes in it of
Jerry of today would love that.
At the time, they wanted him to make a choice, but also at the time, I will say, he played the football game. So afterwards, the football team was kind of like, let him play.
Exactly.
They were like, come on, we did our part. But they were like, everyone at the time, I think, was pretty pissed and like Deion was being very cocky. But the football team side of it was like, you let him go and you didn't put him in the game.
Right. Come on, man.
They also, I think the football team's mantra switched to, oh, we're going to win this argument. Like he's going to give up baseball, which he did. So, but 100%. So that's a little bit about Deion Sanders. Zach, our second nominee.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go the other one I've already spoiled. Even though there are 3 heavy hitters in this category. Zach, can you tell me very briefly, because there's a lot here, what comes to mind when you think of Jerry Jones?
Boy. Okay, so Jerry Jones is one of the greatest businessmen of all time, just not one of the greatest general managers of all time.
Or men.
Owner of the Dallas Cowboys, or men. Owner of the Dallas Cowboys, somehow was able to get the America's team mantra after the Steelers, I believe, turned it down, and he has used that to catapult the Dallas Cowboys to one of the most valuable franchises in the entire world. Also, pictures of him as a boy at a Nazi rally, I believe, or maybe not a Nazi rally, but it was some white power rally.
We'll get to it. Yeah.
KKK, maybe.
Yeah.
We've talked about it on the show before, and this might be included. Like you said, some of these things you've heard before, but he had a random daughter pop up a couple years ago. We're like, oh, Jerry, let's talk about this, actually. What was that all about? That one pretty quiet quickly, though. We heard about the daughter, never heard from her again. Hope she's well. But yeah, lots of things with Jerry. Jerry loves Jerry, I think, is the end and beginning of everything there.
Yeah. Owner in NFL, I would say leader amongst owners in professional sports, especially in the NFL.
Is. Longest tenured leader.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. And at different times, like spokesperson against the league, spokesperson for the league, depends on the mood and the occasion. But Jerry Jones has kind of done it all. Zach, I've got 3 nominees here. I wanted to start with this, which is a bury the lead, which is I hope we remember everything that's happened this fucking year. I did. I've got a whole nominee. Zach, all of these things have happened this season for the Cowboys and for Jerry Jones. First, Dak Prescott's contract. Which before he signed Dak Prescott, we got a quote from Dak because Jerry Jones came out and said, I'm thinking a lot more about the team than whoever our quarterback is because we've got a good team regardless. You have Dak coming out and saying, I don't listen to any of his empty words on the airways, like because Jerry likes to talk. Then they sign him, and he's like, Dak Prescott's our quarterback no matter what. Look at his stats. So he's on both sides of Dak Prescott. Mike McCarthy, who, by the way, I almost made this a nominee, but it was too small, which is Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones had a sleepover.
That's right. Yeah. When he was first hired or right before he was hired.
100%. That's how they knew that they were going to be together. Yeah. So they had a sleepover together. But now he's on record saying, it wouldn't be crazy if we kept him. But also, maybe it definitely depends on if they're going to draft Shadur Sanders or not.
Yeah.
He's got quotes about having Deion as coach. Now, that, by the way, that's all this Mike McCarthy thing is. They'll keep him if they can't get Deion. Anyway. But
or Belichick.
100%. They've got, if I can't get anyone else, would be crazy if we get Mike McCarthy. 100%. He's got quotes on either side of that. And then, Zach, do you remember the Jamie Foxx stream?
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm not sure. I think it was training camp talking about the size of one of his players' dicks is.
Yeah, everyone thinks it's Dalvin Cook. Made comments about how fast folks were and then how he could run a 4.940 with a 9 3/4 inch cock, essentially. And by the way, it was all giggles, all laughs afterwards. So he's on a Jamie Foxx stream talking about his players' dicks.
Jamie Foxx ended it quickly.
Yes, 100%. Thank God for Jamie Foxx, the journalist in the room. Speaking of journalists, Jerry Jones went on a tirade on his own broadcasters because they brought him on to ask about the Cowboys and then got mad saying, I can't believe people I'm paying are criticizing me.
Yeah. Threatened their jobs.
100%. Sunlight getting in the eyes of his players.
Yep.
From the stadium. And lastly, of course, the largest loss at home in Cowboys history happened on his 82nd birthday. And we get the sound bite of Jerry Jones, what it mean to have this happen on your birthday. And we get, oh, for God's sake.
Poor Jerry.
It's been a year. That was this
kind of
year.
year.
It's not, the season's not over.
There's going to be more. Yeah, for sure. Congrats to Jerry for dealing with this and still being around.
Yes. All right. That's one of Jerry Jones's nominees.
The year?
Is
Okay,
the year.
great.
I just couldn't, I had to roll it up into one. I just need people to remember it. Okay. Jerry Jones. It also scales. Do you know how hard it was to research things we should remember about Jerry Jones?
I mean, yeah, it's just an endless supply of everything.
Only person I've ever looked up for this where I found articles of every Jerry Jones scandal by year, which by the way, very helpful, but it's like hard to pick. So second category, also broad, Jerry Jones and racism. Okay. So these are some things that have happened. This is a nominee. A, he threatened to bench players kneeling to protest for police brutality, saying if we disrespect the flag, we will not play. Same year, by the way, which is the only reason it's on here because not that funny, but it was the same year in the video. He tells a woman at a bar, it seems unprovoked. She's just married. She's wearing like a bridal gown, just married. And he, in the video, you can see him saying, you know, he's cheating on you, right? You know, he's with a black girl tonight.
Jerry, come on.
What are we doing? Also, by the way, of course, not only was he in the picture, Zach, of a famous racial riot moment, but Zach, you were even downplaying a little bit. It's not anyone. He's in the fucking picture of the Little Rock Nine.
Oh yeah.
They're getting into the school and he's in the crowd.
Yeah, you're right. I wasn't downplaying it. I forgot that detail. Big detail. Okay.
100%. Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. You weren't downplaying it. That's what I'm saying. You were like trying to give him credit of like, oh, he was at something. No, he's at the thing.
The thing. Yeah.
And by the way, when it came up, he's like, I just had to see what was going on.
It's like we've all been in photographs of things. We've all done things. Those are the past.
When he goes, he basically has a quote. It's like, well, you want me to not be there? Would it be better if I wasn't there? Yes.
Oh, is it surprising Jerry Jones is at a historical event? I think not. Like, okay.
And perhaps unrelated, he's never hired a black coach.
I suppose. You're right.
I'll leave that up for history to decide.
Head coach.
So sorry. Yes. The one coach choice that he has full control over. He has not made that choice. But yes.
And of course, he has not hired a black GM because Jerry is also the GM.
So that's a category. Again, just hard to pick what to do. But Zach, the most singular thing I wanted folks to remember about Jerry Jones, he has a secret daughter. Not that secret anymore.
I mean, it's getting to the point that it is going to become a secret again, I think.
Well, correct, especially with the twists and turns in this. You might know this, but I need folks to know the full scale of what happened here. So last year, a woman came out saying, alleging, I'm going to be super careful here, alleging that there was a, what I would qualify for layman's terms, though it wasn't exactly this, what qualifies to about an NDA, an agreement, a legal agreement between Jerry Jones and the alleging woman's mother saying, yes, this is my kid and I will financially take care of you and the daughter. But you can't say anything about it. Neither can she. That's in 1998. 2022, 2023 rolls around. He goes, I wasn't any part of that deal. I was a baby. I don't want any part of it. Jones comes out, deny. Couldn't be me. He's ordered to do a paternity test. Then, surprise, surprise. Oh, I don't know about that paternity testing. Jones countersues, which I missed in all this.
I do remember that. Yeah.
He countersued saying, hey, you were supposed to shut up. The countersuit is the whole deal was you're not supposed to be out here. So he didn't ever say, yeah, that's my daughter, but he is suing you saying we had a deal.
Yeah. hey, now this was a legally binding deal. This deal is real. Yeah, for
100%.
Sure.
And it detailed some of the articles I was seeing was detailing some of the payments and some of the things they're looking for. Jerry's like, you got to pay me back, which is over $3 million of payments, including birthday parties, flights, and attire for their lives, which, by the way, Jerry, nice guy. Look at all
Yeah,
those
great
parties
guy.
he's funding.
Yeah.
What a crazy thing. Again, go back and then be like, what? Me? Daughter? Like he's
Yeah.
fully paying for her life. But the most recent update in it, just to put a bow on it, the judge has just dismissed everything and said the original deal is legal. Fight me if
Yeah.
you want. He should still politically provide. But I'm going to dismiss the charge that, by suing, she broke the deal. So that's kind of where we're at. She's going to pursue more legal action. But it seems to have been somewhat allegedly alluded to and admitted. You had a
That
secret
it's real?
kid. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. If he's suing for it, he's not suing for defamation, which I think
No.
is probably, I don't know for sure. I assume most of the headlines put out there because Jerry has a lot of money controlling media and owning media companies.
Even though they grill him unfairly.
They grill him. Yeah, why would they ask him questions? I assume they're just talking about Jerry Jones countersuing. They don't necessarily say for what. So most people would think, oh, defamation, this isn't true. But no, he's suing because it was true. But we're not saying what the contract was about. Hey, we had a deal. Let's not get into the details of said deal. But you violated them, and now you're getting sued.
Yeah, that's right. It's fucking messy, dude. And only Jerry Jones would come out and be like, hey, all right, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Come
I own
on.
my end of it.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, if you're going to be one of those assholes, I don't know why she wants to break the original agreement, but it should be her right to if that's what she wants to pursue. But
Yeah,
who knows?
gives
They'll
a
have to
fuck?
figure. Who gives it? I saw so many comments that were like, she was paying millions of dollars over her life. How ungrateful. Okay, man. I don't know. Like, who the fuck cares? Also, her mom made the deal, and Jerry Jones is seeming to her like an asshole. Never met the guy.
Yeah, true. But also, is she pursuing money? Yeah, she is.
100%. And by the way, he's got more.
Yeah, look at his. He's already got one son who's worthless, who's gonna get the team. Like she's done just as much as Stephen Jones in
She
her
should
life.
get the team.
Sure, yeah.
That'd be my dream. Yeah.
Let her at least be the GM. Why
That's
not?
true. Give him the team. She's GM.
Yeah. Gotta
Or
split the team.
Oh, I'd love if it was reverse. Steven, if
Mm.
you're a good GM, you get it. You have to earn it.
You gotta each of them get one season. You gotta get a winning record. That's what we're
Yes.
hoping for here.
Oh, Jerry, turn it into a TV show. I'll watch it.
Or offense and defensive coordinator. That's fine. Let's have both of them run the
Oh
team.
my God. Mike McCarthy also being the judge of that is exactly what I want. Oh my God. I don't want to be here.
Mike's punishment. Yeah. Mike's punishment is as contracts renewed and he has to come back and do this shit.
Absolutely. Zach, our last nominee is the reason
okay.
I've opened this up, because this is the most fun I've ever had finding shit out about a person. I couldn't pick one of these three to throw into the game. Going against Titans of personality Deion Sanders and Jerry Jones is Tom Landry.
Okay.
What comes to mind when you think of legendary coach Tom Landry?
I mean, the hat, of course, first thing that comes to mind, as always. Coached for fucking ever. Coached a shit ton of games. Won a lot of games. Won a lot of Super Bowls. You know what I mean? Like, he is considered by football historians probably as a top 5 coach, I would assume, by most people.
I think for the old heads, the coaches you have to mention in the greatest of all time debate are,
he's in the top.
Yeah, it's Hallis, Shula, Lombardi, Landry. I think you got to say those four.
Yeah.
At least talk about them. So,
Bryant would be included, but that's you're there.
Loser.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
Nerd.
But Zach, there's a lot to be said about Tom Landry. One, to your point, I think there's a lot writing about him. Player famously called him the plastic man due to his lack of personality. A little bit just like very rigid. You're going to see that come out in his other nominees. But to highlight that, often attributed to his military career, did not know this. He flew 29 bombing missions in World War II.
That checks out. I didn't know that either.
Absolutely. Some of what this behavior may have included, he famously refused to get drinks with players and coaches after games, multiple times agreeing to go to drinks and then just not going.
Good move. Done
It's
that
awesome.
before.
And then also, this is a quote, and I wanted to give it its own section. The quote highlighting the Plastic Man persona. He once said, quote, "I can't smile and think at the same time, so I avoid doing so on the football field."
Never felt more closely related to a
By the
former
way, this
NFL
is
coach.
a whole genre of coach. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my God, yes. That makes so much sense. Nominee number 2, Zach. Going off the military piece, he was once asked if, compared to his military days, if the NFL career, like if he ever felt his friend around all these big players or anything. He actually said the most threatened or scared anyone was ever around him, though, quote, he said, I wasn't that scared. During an NFL game. He received multiple death threats during a game with the Rams.
Okay.
They were in Los Angeles at the time. There was calls to police the night before, and then many calls during first half leading up to halftime. Jerry Jones was escorted from the field separately with about a minute to go in the half. The report at the time was they did arrest someone, but there was calls from somebody. By the way, this is all a quote Landry gave to an interviewer of like, I guess someone called. He said he had a rifle. Said he was going to shoot me. So, by the way, how far death threats have come? Just someone in the stands with a rifle. That's what they're worried about. Like, yeah, his
No
gun
kidding.
with him.
Yeah.
But by the way, reports were he did it to try and get Landry to stop coaching, which I'm like, badass. Like,
Yeah, you know what? If Jerry's not going to fire the guy, I'll take it into my own. Yeah,
absolutely. So he runs in the back, comes out the second half of the game, coaches the rest of the game in the bulletproof vest.
That's sick. I do like that.
100%. He said he said it was what he could do to calm down stadium police, quote unquote. So they could let him go back out there. By the way, 1-2 scores. Boom.
Of course.
What are you gonna do? That's right. There's your 13 burger.
That's very funny. I like that a lot. That's the type of head coach I want for my team. Calming down the police. Would it make you feel better if I put a bulletproof vest on? Could that be what we agree to here? You don't want me to go out there? Give me your vest. Give me your vest. Because he definitely took it from somebody, by the way.
Absolutely. You do your job, I'll do mine. Yeah, 100%. Right. There's a cop out there without a bulletproof vest. Absolutely. I did think about that for sure. They did have a spare.
Yeah. Find a photo because I bet he's standing directly behind Landry.
So true. And Zach, speaking of your type of coach, you can pick any of these, but I did want to pick this one to go last because this does strike me like a thing you would really enjoy. Okay. Famously in the 1971 season, it's the season where he wins his first Super Bowl with the team. He pulls the trigger and commits to Roger Staubach as his head coach. Prior to that, going back and forth between Staubach, the Heisman Trophy winner, and Craig Morton. Craig Morton the year before had won the job back from Staubach, competed in Super Bowl V, but lost. So they're kind of going back and forth. So to set up what's happening, Zach, like basically, why did Staubach not keep the job? Change too many plays. Just very tough. Yeah. Call the damn plays I sent you in. So you're changing too many plays, scrambling too much. Throw the damn ball.
You want to play running back? We'll put you at tailback.
They're doing much. So he puts Craig Morton back in. Now the team's kind of starting to be divided. There's reports from both Roger Staubach and Craig Morton at the time, like they both want their guy to win. Basically, the team is really struggling with unity. And Craig Morton thinks he should have earned the job. Mad that people are still thinking Roger Staubach's the more talented quarterback, which of course at this point in history seems silly. Because it's so true. But really struggling, Zach. So what he's got to do is find a solution that makes everyone happy, right? Wrong. He picks the best possible solution. We get a game in 1971. I got to pick a quarterback, God damn it. So I'm doing it this way. There's a game in 1971 where the two quarterbacks alternate every play.
Fine. You both want to play? Fine.
We're figuring it out. We're one team, God damn it.
Everyone's happy now? Is this what you want?
Every fucking snap. They trade off. There's a quote from Landry after the game. He's like, I want folks to recognize there's one team and one decision maker. Goddamn right.
Fuck yeah, dude.
By the way, power play. Absolutely. Obviously, they go with Staubach. The rest is history. But how does that decision get break to Craig Morton? Craig Morton gets a call that night at 10:30 p.m., according to Craig Morton. says, does the conversation have to be tonight? Landry says, yes, I'd like you to come into my office. Comes at 11. Quote, this is the entire meeting. I'm going with Roger. Anything else? No. Leaves. Calls him at 11 p.m. One
What a
sentence.
dick.
See ya. Made my decision.
Yeah. Wow. That's be back by 6 a.m., by the way.
By the way, Mike Tomlin, because he listens to the show,
Yeah.
he had the chance to do that with Wilson and Fields.
Oh, for sure.
Every goddamn play.
Do we, it still may happen. Do we know the result of that game?
Yeah, they lost. They lost by 3 points.
That's close for that situation, though.
Yeah, well, and the only reason it's mentioned is Landry has a quote before the game of like, I'll win with neither of you.
True. Yeah, fair enough. That's oh my God. That is proving a point. Like, you guys are powerless here. You're a monkey, dance for me. If I tell you to get in the game and come off, I guarantee you're going to do that.
Yeah, which, by the way, there's so many quotes. This could have been its own thing, but it was like not as funny. But in this narrative, it's funny. There's so many things of like, what did Landry care about? Unity. Like, we are a machine, God damn it. Because there's quotes on both sides. It's obvious it's the 60s and 70s. So there are so many like race-related pieces. Cowboys famously ended up on like both sides of that. At one point, they were the whitest team. Then they're like one of the first to almost fully integrate. And on both sides, you have quotes from Tom Landry of like, at first, they're like not integrating. And everyone's like, oh, Tom Landry's like having all these good old white boys around. And then there's quotes of like that I was finding of basically all these white guys bullying the couple black dudes on the team. And Landry was like, no, not racist.
Yeah.
Just don't want any. Like, there's shifts on both sides. Then he brings in more black people. Then some folks on that side were trying to do more protests. They're like, some of these guys are racist. And he's like, did you just disrupt team unity? See ya.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, we will not abide by political conversation. No progress here. All right. No better, no worse than when we came into the room.
I do like that there's nothing more important than the team, and we are all the team. Like, there's something nice in that, but then there's also this obliviousness that's also very, I love it. That's a football coach, right?
We can't all do that, but also at that point, it's Tom Landry.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
I wonder how many times it'd be like, Jesus Christ, can we just play football?
Tom Landry, to this day, God rest his soul, has no idea there is a race issue in America.
Yeah.
You know
if
what
they
I mean?
all just, played like Tom Landry, that would have been what we did. But Zach, I gotta wrap it up, and I gotta give you a recap. You have 9 nominees for this 200th episode of Bury the Lead. Your nominees, at a glance, are the 3 Deion Sanders nominees, which is
let's go person by person. Yes,
Deion Sanders. Santa doesn't have time.
Oh yeah,
MC Hammer friend and Street Fighter movie soundtrack.
Oh,
and then
so
lastly, 2 sports in one day, including multiple helicopter trips to get his goddamn entourage on.
Yeah, I think the additions, here's number 2 and 3. It's Dion made a song for the Street Fighter movie.
Yeah.
And it's number 3 is the entourage thing.
Yeah.
Like, that he expected a helicopter to fly with 17 people.
Yeah.
Because of the 2 games in one day thing. That's incredible. Yes, those 2. Santa gets left behind, even though 'tis the season.
'Tis the season. Jerry Jones. So we got a couple group ones. Everything that's happened this year.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones and racing. I would say this year highlighted by the Jamie Foxx piece. If we had to pick one, I would say,
What's the? Oh no, sorry. I'm mixing a couple of the things you set up. Okay.
Yeah. And then Jerry Jones at the Little Rock 9 incident, I think would be the other one. And then Secret Daughter.
Yeah.
Encounter.
I mean, boy, it has to be all 3. Jerry, I mean, Jerry, if nothing else, is polarizing and incredible. So
you should remember everything about Jerry Jones.
We should. That is for better or worse. Jerry is memorable, and we need to not let anything, fall through the cracks here.
Yeah, that's so true. And then lastly, of course, the plastic man himself, Tom Landry, who can't smile and think at the same time. Military vet. who put a bulletproof vest on so he could finish a football game. And
Stole a bulletproof vest and compromise. Yes.
Yeah, an officer. Yes, correct. After, by the way, several death threats over 2 days. That's also the part where it's like, come on, give me a break, guys. And lastly,
It's not
of course,
about football. Don't tell me about it.
that's right. And of course, highlighting that, alternating Staubach and Bourne for a whole game, one play at a time.
Yeah, again, number 2 and 3, the bulletproof vest, and then alternating quarterbacks every play to prove a point. Fuck the wins and losses. We're gonna unify this team with the most bullshit strategy of all time.
That's right. Do you have an overall favorite? If you had to be like, I want folks to remember this about this person.
All of Jerry's are awesome, but it almost numbs me to how insane he is.
You know what I mean? Pick any of those with Jerry, and I'd be like, fine.
It truly is between the entourage helicopter thing, which is the most ridiculous thing I think was said, but then the alternating quarterbacks, because
that's my favorite.
Not because of not really because of power trip.
No.
And not really because he doesn't know which quarterback he wants to play.
I don't think it helped him make that decision at all.
It's solely for team unity, which is the only thing he cares about in life.
That was in the article. It was a message not to the two quarterbacks, but the people who supported either quarterback. That's will tank your season. I will play both people equally, and none of you frickers will be happy.
If more coaches had the freedom to do that, there would be issues across the league figured out. Could you just imagine if, let's say, Deshaun Watson has all of these perks in his deal, these accelerators where you have to hit these stats, and it's like, I'm going to take you out. If you're not going to fucking try, I'm going to take away all of your money. It doesn't matter. Screw you.
Not only that, I'll make it a hindrance. I'm going to switch you out every other play.
And it's such a football thing to say. And by the way, it's not your problem. It's the rest of your teammates' problem. You got to look at them.
I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at your teammates for picking sides.
Yeah.
Because truthfully, that's what he's more mad about. Listen, of course, both of these guys want to start. What are the rest of you fuckers doing?
The funniest football thing is you get a penalty in a game or something like that, and the rest of your teammates run. And you don't. You have to watch them. You got to make eye contact with every one of them as they run past you.
Yeah. By the way, that came out this year. That was Bill Belichick's solution to offside penalties.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That quote where he's like, the plays where center would jump offside, he'd make the rest of the team run.
Yep. I mean, we don't want to hurt the center, but we got to make him feel bad.
And his quote was, "This is what it looks like when you make the rest of us look like jerks." And it's like, yeah, 100%. So, Oh man, but no, I agree. But hey, happy 200. That was our bury the lead.
Happy 200.
A couple of happy nominees to the Hall of Fame there, but I think shining at the top of the hill. I mean, if you didn't know that about Tom Landry, you didn't know Tom Landry.
I guess so. The more we learn about Tom Landry, the more, in my mind, he is just Teddy Roosevelt coaching a football team, which I love. They're one and the same.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. They are the same type of human, and I love that. So 200 episodes in the book. Thank you all for listening. We will go out on this. There is a few more weeks of the season.
Yes.
By the way, next season is our football off season, which is always electric. So,
which, by the way, as we've discovered on this show, we started as an off-season show.
We did. That is true. So we'll call it out in a couple of weeks when it's the last week of the regular season. Just imagine starting a podcast and you're known for football and you're starting it at this point.
Yeah.
Let's remember that. And by the way, starting it during New Year's Eve weekend, which everybody's listening to podcasts on New Year's Eve. You know what I mean? Everyone was listening.
I'll kiss you in a second, but first.
Stupid. What was the point? I don't know, but
I got to listen to what the Pagano rule is.
True. I mean, if everyone wants to really know what the point was, we didn't have two mics. We didn't record online. So Jake and I needed to both be off of school and we needed to be in person. And we record like
it was our fall break. Absolutely.
Yeah, record like 2 in the same day. That's why it's like, yeah, Jake's the first guest. Probably going to be the second guest as well, since we're recording both here.
Didn't know for sure, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll go out on a clip. The way we ended the first episode, you can listen to the end and think, wow, so much has changed in 200 episodes. These are not even the same people. It's incredible. So thank you all. Share your Spotify Wrapped if we were included in your top 5. Anything else from you, Jake, before we get out of here?
Otherwise, keep your rap to yourself.
True. I don't need to listen or see that. You listen to Call Me Daddy? That's interesting. White girl in her 20s.
It's
like,
oh my God. By the way, it's call her daddy. Call me daddy. That's a new show.
Next season on Flurry Sports. Get ready. We just got done with the Summer of Love theme of this next summer.
By the way, we don't get enough credit for that. Can I leave the show on this? I haven't ran this past anybody, but I think it's funny and I think she will too. We did a whole summer of Let's Find Emily Someone to Love. Maybe a cowboy, maybe a wrangler. He's got cows, dude. Whoops. Bob's your uncle.
Sorry about it.
Were we planting seeds?
Uh-oh. If you at home listening are single and desperate for love, not even looking for love, you're desperate. Let's be honest. Let us know. And we will figure it out for you. We still have a long list of bull riders that we read off that were the most incredible names of all time. And I can only assume they're single and ready for something at least. And they're ready for a podcast. So let us know.
That's right.
We'll go out on that.
And in the meantime, here we are from the past.
Yep. In the meantime, if you have a time machine, go back and please vote for us at the Volume 1 Best Of. And we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Okay. Anyway, so we're at the very end of our show here. We are definitely a little bit more long-winded than I anticipated.
Oh, we're good at talking.
We are, man, we're great at it.
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh my God. Not much is said, but a lot of words.
A lot of words.
And you know what else I just did? I just deleted the questions I was going to ask you, but I got them back. Control Z, everyone. You can undo it. You can undo it. Got you. So I have a few rapid fire questions. Rapid fire. We are not going to elaborate on these.
We're hitting these.
Okay, we're going to rapid fire, and then we're going to close out this podcast. I was going to say put time on the clock, but I don't have a clock. So question number 1. What is one word to describe 2017?
Over.
Oh, you know what? That's good. What is one sentence you would use to describe this NFL season?
Man, I wish all my favorite players played.
Oh, no shit. Oh, my God. That hits too close to home.
Yeah.
Okay, which teams do you think are going to be in the Super Bowl? Not your prediction. Which teams are going to be in there?
I think the Patriots and the Vikings are going to be in it.
Okay, that's a little bit of a cop-out. Who is the team to watch next year, do you think?
I think the team to watch next year is definitely going to be the Eagles.
Eagles? Yeah. Carson Wentz back. I don't think they have too many crazy free agents, so they should be good.
No, they should have one more year of this level of dominance. I want to see if they can keep it up, especially when the Cowboys should be better.
And I would assume one of their coordinators is gone for a head coaching gig.
Yeah, probably.
We'll see. We elaborated. Anyway, okay.
You started it. I'm on this.
I think I know the answer to this question, but I want to see that glimmer in your eye when you get the answer.
That'll go good over the radio. Yeah. Okay.
Shut up, man.
Imagine it.
Shut up, man. It's my first day. Okay, who is your dream person that you could interview?
I want to interview Vince Wilfork.
Vince Wilfork.
So bad. Oh, my gosh.
Okay, he would have to show up. It has to be in person, right?
Right.
He has to show
overalls.
I was going to say that. Barbecue.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to get up there. Get him some damn barbecue. Okay. And what's one song that has been stuck in your head all day?
One song that has been stuck in my head all day is Like a Prayer by Madonna.
How's that go?
Life is a mystery. Everyone must stand alone. I hear you call my name.
Okay. I don't know the song.
Home. It's so good, really.
Oh, okay. Okay, where can people find you on Twitter? What's your Twitter handle?
My Twitter handle is @Jacob Osman, AUSMAN 1.
at Jacob Osmond 1. Everyone go follow him. He's not as active as he should be on Twitter, but
I'm working on it.
we're going to give him a reason to be active.
That's right.
Go get him a bunch of followers. We're going to get the shit going here. This is the first Flurry Sports podcast. We're going to get more going. We are going to be more concise, and that's a damn promise.
Yeah.
We're going to get our answers out.
This is a good start.
This is a good start. You know what? This is probably going to be a weekly thing. We might get 2 out this first week.
Right.
We might do something fun.
The next one might be a little shorter.
You know what?
Might be a little longer.
You know, it might be. It might be. And I want to hear, I was going to say criticisms. That's a bad word. Comments on this first one. What did you like? What didn't you like? If you have any ideas for future bits, future, games we could play, something, ideas.
Questions you want us to answer?
Absolutely. Shoot me questions. Shoot me anything on Twitter at Fantasy Flurry. I'm gonna do my damn bestest to keep this going, and I think this is gonna be a fun time. This is just for me to talk about sports, man. I'm just having fun.
And everything else.
Everything else.
Kevin
Costner, Blake Bortles. He barely qualifies as sports, but damn it, he's Mr. December. I'm Zach Bruner. This is the first Flurry Sports podcast. I'll talk to you later.